Later on The Tonight Show, Jay chats with voluptuous country legend Dolly Parton. And of course, she'll sing too, plus comic Tom Papa. Your local news is next.
Not so fast. The Yankees look pretty good tonight.
They're ahead right now in Game 2 of the playoffs against Boston. And News Channel 10's Frank Carpano has more live from the Bronx. What are the headline writers thinking about tonight, Frank?
Well, they're talking about payback tonight, Gene. The Red Sox are finding out what that's all about. But before we give you the details of tonight's game inside of Yankee Stadium, I thought we'd give you a little taste of the atmosphere outside of Yankee Stadium prior to tonight's game. It is best described as a carnival-like atmosphere, a time when Red Sox fans and Yankee fans can coexist, at least until game time. Yankee fans definitely win the propaganda war here. And inside the stadium, just before game time, we found Cranston's Bob Gallucci and Narragansett Joe Paglia, friends who drove down from Rhode Island today, one a Yankee fan, the other a Red Sox fan. Tell you what, let's find out how good they are at predicting.
I think the Sox are going to pull it off tonight, too. Lowe's looking strong.
Lowe's tired. He's tired. It's a tough road trip to Oakland, you know. The Yankees are going to unleash that.
Joe Paglia, the Yankee fan, coming through with a big pregame prediction. All right, here's the score. We are now in the top of the 8th inning. The Yankees are leading this one 6-2. Red Sox had a 1-0 lead, but that lead was short-lived. Yankees have put some runs on the board tonight. They lead Game 2 by a score of 6-2. More details on the scoring coming up later in sports. For now, live in the Bronx outside of Yankee Stadium, Frank Carpano, News Channel 10.
Well, there can be an ugly side to this. Red Sox victories have resulted in campus chaos at URI. Tonight, the tight security already in place has gotten even tighter. And News Channel 10 reporter Ted Daniel joins us live from Kingston with details. Ted?
That's right, Patrice. About an hour ago, a large contingent of state and local police arrived here at URI. They are certainly out in force tonight, and right now they are staked out all over campus, waiting for the Sox-Yankees game to end. The hope is by having all the officers in place now, students will get the message that the university means business and what happened last night will not be tolerated. It has come down to this. Firefighters flood all the dumpsters on campus just in case.
Well, if you do them now, you don't have to do them later.
In the dorms, a message to the students. The meeting is to remind them another night of chaos will not be tolerated.
Everybody really agreed with what they were saying, and I think that it's not as bad as it has been for the past couple of days.
This is what he's talking about. Wednesday night, another Sox victory celebration got out of hand at URI. More than 500 students were involved in the disturbance. They lit dumpsters on fire and tipped over a car. 3 students were injured, including a young woman who was trampled by the crowd.
We're going to stop this thing tonight, one way or another.
URI President Dr. Robert Carruthers says the school is now prepared to make sure this doesn't happen again. A large and more aggressive police presence is in place. Any student caught breaking the law will be arrested.
I've never seen the campus like this, and
student leaders are also taking an active role. More than 100 plan to walk the campus after the games, encouraging their peers to stay in control.
The university is giving us the opportunity to kind of go in and mingle with these students that are kind of acting in kind of, a mob type format, and just talk to them. Simple stuff like, hey guys, why don't you go back to your room? You don't want to deal with this. This isn't something that's us.
And that's the attitude of a lot of the students we talked to tonight. They say they're pretty upset about what happened. They don't want URI to get a bad name by the actions of a certain group of students. Now, 4 students were arrested tonight, and police say more arrests could follow, but with the presence that is on this campus tonight, everyone's hoping that it will be a quiet night. We're live in Kingston. Ted Daniel, News Channel 10.
Thank you, Ted, and we will have continuing coverage of the push for the pennant. Sports Team 10's Frank Carpano will have another report from the Bronx coming up at 11:25.
A local firefighter fights a free speech battle, and it looks like he won one in Fall River tonight. And News Channel 10's Ellison Bologna has more on his big beef with the boss.
Wanted to educate the public and get the word out that this is what was happening.
Fireman Jack Fernandez is upset. He says the Fall River Fire Department is shrinking. So he put up these signs on his truck. They're signs of his frustration. Then late Thursday, he says the deputy fire chief called him and told him to take them down.
I'm quite upset. I mean, if they take any disciplinary action, I'll be even more upset.
Unfortunately, the situation got blown out of, in my opinion, proportion prior to our ability to really respond to it.
Now the city says Fernandez can keep the signs up after all. Still, some firefighters are frustrated.
The fact is that there was an attempt to coerce our employees.
Did that deputy chief have any business making that call?
Well, he is a deputy chief. I mean, a deputy chief is a leadership position in the fire department, and they make judgment calls from time to time.
The signs are up on the truck when it's parked on city property at the firehouse, and they're up there to make a point.
We want it made clear to the public that it's a firefighter making this statement, not someone from the general public. So I think it's important that we have this vehicle on the ramp.
I feel violated, that they've violated my rights, or attempted to violate my rights.
And this case isn't unique. Last year in Malden, Massachusetts, firefighters sued after they were told to take down similar signs. A federal judge ended up ruling in favor of the firefighters, saying they have a constitutional right to campaign publicly in the city's battle over fire safety. Allison Bologna, News Channel 10.
Thank you, Allison. One of the police officers who accidentally shot and killed an off-duty officer is called to the stand in a civil rights lawsuit. The mother of Sergeant Cornell Young Jr. is suing the city of Providence and the police department. Lisa Young claims the officers who shot her son in January of 2000 were not properly trained. Today, one of those officers testified that he didn't hear Cornell Young Jr. say anything before the shots were fired. Officer Carlos Saraiva says that he thought Young was an armed suspect, not an off-duty police officer.
Free Buddy and his buddies, that's what the Plunder Dome defense asked for at the Federal Appeals Court in Boston today. Lawyers for the former Providence mayor and his co-conspirators arguing against the verdict and the admission of tapes that showed another Plunder Dome character in action, even though he never testified at trial.
This is a situation where there was affirmative reason to believe that Pannoni was not a reliable person.
The appeals court could uphold the verdict, order a new trial, or vacate the convictions. And if they lose, the defense could appeal further.
Does Rhode Island's Secretary of State have his eyes on a higher office? News Channel 10's political reporter Bill Rapley reports Matt Brown has donated $25,000 to the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. That could be interpreted in a few ways.
When you give money to the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, it's oftentimes the first step in running for the Senate yourself.
I'm Secretary of State, Bill. I'm doing that full time. I have no plans to do anything else.
Brown says he simply gave the money to help more Democrats get into the Senate.
We're learning more about Kobe Bryant's accuser and her version of events.
The mayor of New Bedford has a plan to keep children drug-free.
And it was once shut down. Now Napster's trying to make a comeback.
And the cool air is trying to make a comeback tonight. 58 degrees outside our Howard Industrial Park studios. A little bit of fog out there. There is some rain in the holiday weekend forecast. I'll talk about that coming up here on News Channel 10 at 11.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, Dolly Parton sings, hurls a load of melons, and gets real naughty.
My husband's gonna kick my ass.
Plus, comedian Tom Papa finding Nemo and hurling more big stuff. We gotta throw some appliances, yeah! Then on Conan, Uma Thurman tonight.
It's a comedy show. Really? I guess that explains the deafening silence.
Hey, I'm Justin Timberlake, and I'll be the host and musical guest of SNL this week.
Are you gonna rock your body?
I'm gonna rock your body.
Ooh. The man.
Flames and smoke forced guests out of a Boston hotel this afternoon. Firefighters were called to the Midtown Hotel on Huntington Avenue. Crews were able to put out the flames in one room before it spread to the rest of the building, and no one was hurt.
A program to help kids stay drug-free in New Bedford. That's what Mayor Kalis wants for the city's junior and senior high schools. It may be controversial. He wants parents to sign their children up for drug testing. If they fail, students would undergo counseling with their parents, and the school would keep it all under wraps.
It is designed for parents to maintain control over their children's privacy, while at the same time providing parents with knowledge about their children's drug activity.
The superintendent likes the idea. The school board would have the final say.
Another Rhode Island soldier returns home from Iraq. At TF Green Airport, family members welcome 21-year-old Christopher Eflin. He's a communications specialist with the 1st Armored Division. Eflin was supposed to be transferred to Fort Drum back in April. Instead, he was sent to Kuwait and then Baghdad. He'll be home for 27 days and then head to Fort Gordon, Georgia. The Massachusetts Attorney General doesn't want car insurance rates in the state to go up. Insurers want to hike insurance by 12%. Tom Riley calls the request unjustified, but it's the state insurance commissioner who has the final say about the rates.
Firefighters face a real inferno in Chicago.
First, he was bitten by his tiger, and now a New Yorker has even more problems.
I'm Barbara Morse. Coming up, a new test to help detect bladder cancer early and a potentially big breakthrough for diabetics that could lead to living insulin-free. Those stories just ahead in Health Check.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture Superstores, serving the community since 1928.
This holiday weekend, take 3 years to pay interest-free. Generous show?
It's just very funny. Hilarious. She's real. Fun-loving and spontaneous. Don't drink all the vodka.
Next Ellen, Jack Black, Wendy Malick, and Dido. Next Ellen.
10 to 10 for the Ellen DeGeneres Show, tomorrow at 3.
NBA superstar Kobe Bryant had to leave training camp for a preliminary hearing in his sexual assault case. And Leanne Gregg has more from Colorado.
Kobe Bryant left the courtroom with his attorneys and bodyguards after a day with some surprises. The first one, that the preliminary hearing happened at all. Many speculated Bryant's attorneys would waive the hearing to prevent potentially damaging information from becoming public.
This trial's going to be a Donnybrook, believe me. Both sides are going to come out swinging.
And they did. The prosecution's first witness, Detective Doug Winters, said the accuser told him she agreed to go to Bryant's hotel room at this resort where she worked, that she even kissed him. But then Winters testified the accuser said Bryant held her neck against her will and raped her. During cross-examination, defense attorney Pam Mackey got the detective to admit he did not see physical evidence to back up the story that she was choked. No red marks, scratches, or bruises. Mackey also asked the detective if the examining nurse questioned whether the accuser's injuries were consistent with a person who had sex with 3 different men on 3 different days. That's when the judge moved the hearing behind closed doors before recessing for the day. Leanne Gregg, NBC News, Eagle, Colorado.
Across America, flames burn a huge warehouse in Chicago to the ground. A preliminary investigation shows the fire may have started in an old machine. There were plans to restore the historic building. No one was hurt in the fire. First, he was attacked by his pet tiger. Now he's out on the street. Antonio Yates has been evicted from his New York City apartment. That's where he kept a 400-pound tiger and a 5-foot alligator. Yates is facing endangerment charges. The government's new $20 bills do look peachy. The first one was used to buy a meal at a Burger King in Miami today. Besides the color peach, the new 20s show hints of yellow and blue. The bills were changed to make counterfeiting more difficult.
Hi, everyone. I was just checking some statistics. Winter unofficially started last year, October 14th. For the rest of the month, temperatures were 4 degrees below where they should be. By the time we ended out the winter, temperatures had been 3 degrees below average, and we had 20 more inches of snow than we usually have. No indication that winter's going to start that early this year. 58 degrees, a little haze out there. And our temperatures today were actually 5 to 6 degrees above where we're supposed to be. Temperature and dew point temperature almost meeting, therefore some patchy fog out there tonight. Northeast wind at 3. We had a bit of a cool front slip through the area. You'll notice it a little bit tomorrow. Temperatures will be a few degrees cooler than they were today. But the red arrows all favoring a northeasterly direction. Oh, Block Island, they got the heater on there. 72. Don't look at that. I think their gauge is asleep. Maybe it's watching the ball game. 57 in Narragansett, 53 at Oxford School in Fairhaven, and 52 in Brockton right now. There's that front. It's pushed through the area. High pressure pushing in. Now it's that high pressure that will control our weather for Friday and Saturday before it lifts back up again. we get some of these warmer temperatures, but also with those warmer temperatures, a little bit of on and off rain showers for Sunday. Manny and Rosie, beautiful day, high of 73 in Central Falls. Alan Parker in Rehoboth, clear, 54. Kathy Alvarez in Saunderstown, a big moon with 53. And Alan Lawton in, where's Alan? He's in Westerly. A little bit of haze with 58 degrees right now. Check it out on Weather Team 10 Future Track. A look into the future as to what we can expect for our weather. Pleasant high pressure pulling in, controlling our weather through 2 a.m. All the rain showers to the south of Washington, D.C. Friday starts off clear, it ends off clear and pleasant. But watch as this line starts slowly creeping up towards the north. Some of the precipitation by Saturday at 2 p.m. right on the doorstep of Nantucket. As we get into the rest of Saturday night into Sunday, some of those rain showers are heading in our direction. Now, if you're planning on looking at the foliage this weekend, southern New England, less than 25% color. Head to the higher elevations of northern New England, the Adirondacks, the Green Mountains, and the White Mountains. That's where the foliage is at its peak. On Narragansett Bay, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, waves 1 to 2 feet. Further out, 2 to 4 feet, sunset 6:13. Here's the forecast for the rest of the night. Some fog, seasonably cool, 52 Providence, upper 40s to the north and west, 50 to 57 along the coast. Nice day tomorrow. Low 70s inland, 70 on the nose in Cranston along the south coast. Ocean water temperature in the low 60s will keep Narragansett, Westerly, and Newport at 67 degrees. And in Bristol County, Massachusetts, high temperature struggling to get to near 70 or 71 in Attleboro, 68 Taunton, 67 in New Bedford. Lots of sunshine and mild for Friday. Saturday, sunshine, increasing clouds 73. On and off rain showers for the Sunday of Columbus Day weekend, high of 70, but pleasant for the holiday itself, 72, and pleasant on Tuesday with 71. Our normal high temperature is supposed to be 65, so if we hit 71, 72, that's 7 degrees above average. We're much better than we were last year at this time.
It's wonderful apple picking weather.
Really good.
And pumpkin picking.
You bet.
All right, thank you, RJ. In Health Check, a potential breakthrough treatment for type 1 diabetes.
And a new test to help detect bladder cancer early. Here's Barbara Morse.
Hi, everyone. Cancer of the bladder is the 5th leading cancer in this country, affecting 57,000 Americans this year. 12,000 will die. Like most cancers, early detection is your best shot at a cure. Now there's a new test. It's called Bladder Check. It's very similar to a home pregnancy test. The simple device is actually very sophisticated, looking for tumor markers in the urine.
If we see a pink line, we can do the reading on the test. In the tumor area, there is no pink line, so this is a negative NMP22 bladder check. Should there have been a pink line here in the tumor area, that would have been a positive test.
The FDA-approved bladder check can be done in the doctor's office, but should be used in conjunction with the scope exam for the most accurate results. Doctors say the #1 sign of bladder cancer is blood in the urine, but anything resembling a bladder infection that doesn't clear up with treatment should be checked out. In other health news, potentially big news for insulin-dependent diabetics who dream of living insulin-free. I'm talking about an incredible procedure known as islet cell transplant. A pancreas is taken from an organ donor, and in a lab, insulin-producing islet cells are removed. Those tiny yet crucial cells are transplanted into the bloodstream of a diabetic's liver and carried into the liver where they go to work.
The cells work right away, immediately. You can see, within an hour, you can see a drop in the blood sugar of these patients.
It's not a cure, but it's a better way of managing diabetes. And Phil, who's lived with diabetes for 30 years, is a potential candidate for this breakthrough treatment at Baylor University Medical Center in Texas. But it's all reliant on something that's in short supply: organ donors. If a donor is found, Phil is picked, and the transplant works, this will be huge. We'll keep you posted. Meantime, for more information on islet cell transplantation for type 1 diabetics, log on to turn10.com and click on Health. With Health Check, Barbara Morse, News Channel 10.
This is Frank Carpano live in the Bronx, outside of Yankee Stadium. The Yankees 1 out away from securing a Game 2 win over the Red Sox. We'll tell you how they did it when News Channel 10 at 11 continues.
And the Yankees won't be the only New York team visiting New England this weekend. The Pats will have their hands full with the Big Blue. Tim Gray has details.
Weather Team 10 reports brought to you by Albert's Furniture Showplace. Just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
Your Burlington Coat Factory. I'd like to call your attention to something that happened at your grand opening. It seems my wife just couldn't stop shopping. Listen, I'm not saying Burlington Coat Factory shouldn't take up to 60% off department store prices on the hottest labels, or that you shouldn't offer a selection that's so endless it's hard to make up your mind. But maybe at your grand openings, you should put a limit on how much people can drive off with.
Hope I didn't forget anything.
Burlington Coat Factory grand opening in Johnston, Atwood Avenue, Route 5.
That a Hemi? Yeah!
In the 2004 F-150, you'll find the best-in-class low-end torque that'll leave the competition in the dust. All in the truck the Detroit Free Press calls the best pickup truck ever.
You think he knows the leg changed?
Only one truck earned the right to be the next F-150. Now get $1,000 owner loyalty cash on the 2004 Ford F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Headlines tonight, the complete story tomorrow, the Providence Journal.
I'm Paul Tuer in the Providence Journal newsroom. Just how well is your child's school performing? The state's issued its annual report, and even if you live in an affluent community, you may not be happy with the results. Tomorrow, find out which schools are making the grade. Plus, we're in Boston for the latest round of appeal hearings on former Mayor Cianci's racketeering conviction. We'll bring you the arguments in tomorrow's Journal.
There's more than one victory lane.
Don't like waiting in line? At Staples, we'll get you in and out fast so you can get on with your day. Staples, that was easy.
Rock is about the passion. Not your ordinary teacher. Not your ordinary movie. Time magazine hails School of Rock as a joyous comedy. David Anson of Newsweek writes, "It made me laugh harder than any movie I've seen this year." Give me some, yeah! And Entertainment Weekly proclaims, "The kids are priceless."
I'm not cool enough.
Dude, you are cool. The way you play. And Jack Black gives the single most joyful performance I've seen all year. 2 thumbs up. School of Rock. Rated PG-13. Now play.
Rated, it's not a Jeep 4x4. The best values in America just got better.
Well, on paper, a great pitching matchup at Yankee Stadium tonight in Game 2 of the ALCS. Derek Lowe, 17 wins during the regular season against 21-game winner Andy Pettitte for the Yanks. Pettitte with tons of postseason experience, and it certainly showed tonight. Sox shooting for a 5th straight postseason win and a 2-0 series lead. In the second, Boston gets runners at the corners for Damian Jackson replacing Todd Walker. He singles home the first run, 1-0 Boston. Lead is short-lived in the bottom of the second. A runner on for Nick Johnson. It's Nick at night, gone. Johnson's first of the playoffs. It comes off Derek Lowe, 2-1 Yanks. New York adds to their lead in the 5th. Bernie Williams shakes things up a bit, singles to right, scoring Derek Jeter. It's now 3-1. 4-1 New York now in the 6th when Boston gets one back. Jason Varitek having a great postseason. Blasts one to left center, and that's out. It's now a 4-2 ball game. Yankees, however, blow it open against Grady Little's team in the 7th. Jorge Posada takes Scott Sauerbeck to deep center. We've seen this during the season from Sauerbeck. The double scores 2. Yanks even the series, winning Game 2 tonight, 6-2 the final. Game 3 is Saturday at Fenway. Roger Clemens against Pedro Martinez. Sports Team 10's Frank Carpano calling Yankee Stadium home these days, and he joins us live from the Bronx with tonight's Game 2 report. Frank, tonight it looks like the Empire strikes back.
That's right, a little bit of payback for the Red Sox tonight as the Yankees come back and win this one by a score of 6-2. The Red Sox failed to take advantage of some opportunities when Andy Pettitte struggled early in this game. They left several men on in the 1st and 2nd inning, and then Pettitte settled down and pitched pretty well for the next few innings, and that's when the Yankees took off and scored some runs on Derek Lowe. So 6-2 was the final score here, and I think that the Red Sox, although they may not admit it, are pretty satisfied to come away from here with a split of the 2 games. We head back now to Fenway Park for games 3, 4, and 5 starting Saturday, and that highly anticipated pitching matchup, Pedro Martinez versus Roger Clemens. Tim?
Frank, I guess there is some good news tonight for the Sox. Johnny Damon looks like he's going to be back in the lineup on Saturday. I know he took some batting practice prior to tonight's game. What are the thoughts there about Damon coming back? Does it look like a sure thing for Saturday?
I think Grady Little indicated that he will be back in the starting lineup on Saturday. In fact, they even talked about the possibility that he could have stepped in as a pinch hitter tonight. As you mentioned, he did take a little batting practice before tonight's game.
Frank, thank you very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Well, this Sunday in Foxborough, for the first time since 1999, the Patriots and New York Football Giants will play in the regular season. With that in mind, we can look forward to a double dose of New York, New York this weekend in our little corner of the world. The Pats and Giants, in reality, are not strangers. Over the past 3 years, they've battled each other in the preseason. So what we have this weekend is 2 New York teams in town, one in Foxborough and that other evil empire, 9 at Fenway.
I'm sure there are some closet Yankee fans in here. We got to get out of here. Let's get them out of here. Come on, step up.
Give
you know?
us some names.
No, but we all cheer for the Sox in here. You know, we're local teams. We see each other at certain events sometimes. So you know, a couple of guys know a couple of the other guys. So it's fun.
Joe Andruzzi is probably a Yankee fan. I'm going to write Joe Andruzzi down. We'll get to him later. Talk golf in round 2 of the 5-round Las Vegas Invitational, where Billy Andrade is 6 under, Brad Faxon 3 under, and Patrick Sheehan 11 under par. They're all trailing leader Scott Verplank and Steve Flesch, who are co-leaders at -17. Shot of the day comes from an unknown amateur. All we know is that his name is Ishitoni. His drive on 17 goes, where does it go? It goes off the rocks, bounces, and just starts rolling and rolling and rolling. It comes within a foot of the hole, where he converts the unlikely birdie. I play that kind of golf every single time I'm on the course. Our final stop tonight, the airport tarmac in Dallas, Texas, for our play of the day. And this is kind of interesting. Teams representing the Oklahoma Sooners and Texas Longhorns took part in a pregame battle before this weekend's football game. The event is called the Pigskin Plane Pull. Teams pull a 727 as fast as they can for 50 yards. In the end, the Sooners proved victorious. And it really scared the passengers who were on the plane, because they really didn't know what was going on.
Oh, I can imagine.
Southwest bound to Rhode Island.
There was nobody on the plane.
Okay. Next, the ride through Boston looks a little more wild than usual.
Now you can report news in the making by dialing *10 from your Verizon wireless phone. Verizon Wireless provides the toll-free call for News Channel 10 viewers.
The price of casual dining restaurants. New $4 meals only at KFC.
Now, I know you have a lot of extra pocket change just lying around. How'd you like to use some of your money to help the military pay its electricity bill? As unusual as that sounds, believe it or not, there's a proposal to that effect floating around in Rhode Island. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Show. See you then.
Napster, or Napster, is back, as they say. This time it's legal. At one time, it was the most popular music swapping site until a court shut it down for illegally sharing copyrighted property. Well, with a new Napster, users can download songs for 99 cents each, and now it's a profit maker. Napster comes back to the web on October 29th.
Traffic looked a little different in Boston today. Elephants from the circus made their way from the train station in Cambridge to the Fleet Center. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is in Boston for the next week and a half. The first show is tomorrow. Don't see that every day, do you?
Put a lot of luggage in that trunk.
Thank you, Tim.
Ba-dum-bum. That's right. Friday, start of the Columbus Day holiday weekend. Mild with sunshine, 71. Increasing clouds Saturday. Right now, it looks like on and off rain showers on Sunday, but pleasant for Monday and Tuesday.
Not bad.
Well, that'll do it for us for now. Thanks for being with us. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno's up next. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye now.